There we go. We're recording. Good morning to everyone. By the time you see the video, me and me and Connor, oh, it is morning now, I suppose. We're putting together a little kind of IPO preview for you guys. Waking up to this tomorrow, so we got the news through today. The IPOs were coming back in town as of tomorrow, and we've got a big list to work our way through. The video's going to be broken into two parts, so I'm going to be covering on my channel with Connor now all the 10 to 12 releases, and on Connor's channel we'll be covering all the 12 to 2 releases. Okay, so in the description below, all the links and everything will be there as usual. But basically, what we're going to do with the first half, okay, if we have a look at the list, is there's a few guys that you can quite easily write off quite quickly, for the fact that they are not going to be offering any sort of real concrete dividend potential. They're not going to be playing in qualifying competitions, and the likelihood of them making a transfer of note to actually win media buzz at this point in time is, slim to none, sort of thing. So that's basically the way we're going to pan it out with the beginning of this one and the next one, and we'll spend as much time as possible talking about the characters that actually are worth you guys knowing a bit more about. Okay, so first of all, let me welcome back Connor. Thanks for joining us again, mate.
Oh, good. It's good to be back. Yeah. I think it's good to go through this here, and then everyone can watch it first thing in the morning. Maybe people will be waking up specifically. What time now? So it starts at 10. We're recording this now. It's after midnight, so he's going to forgive us if we're a wee bit slow sometimes. But yeah, there are a few players to look at, so we thought it's worth going into them. There's it's a big thing happening tomorrow. There'll be a lot of people's first times as well, not knowing what to do. So even that, there's obviously a lot of talk about the system. The bots, using the last system.
I don't know where this bots things came from. I've put that IPO video I did about everywhere today, just because obviously everyone's talking about it. I don't know where this bots things came from. Maybe it's been in something I've not seen, not picked it up. But I don't understand how you could actually deploy
Well, you
bots.
see, it's talked about a lot in I saw it a wee bit on Twitter, but it's mainly the official forum.
Oh, really?
And basically, a bot is just it's like a program that it'll immediately, it can immediately scan the system for whatever player, and then as soon as it appears, it's pretty much you program it to buy the max. So then if you're I haven't actually tried to get an IPO yet, even though I've been on since the last one came on. But if you try to go on at 10 o'clock or 10 past 10, you find your player. There's a high chance by the time you hit the click on him, and then by the time you confirm the buy, his price might have jumped up from what you initially clicked on. So because there was loads of talk about the delay in the IPOs. This is quite a big delay since the last one. It was down to were they working on a new system, but it doesn't look like there is any sort of new system, unless there is. You never know. But yeah, I'm gonna try it. Just with a small amount of money, just to actually experience it. To see how it does work. See if you're there at 10 o'clock in the dot. How quick do you have to be? So I will be trying it. Small.
Anyone's. Also, I know you wouldn't have been yourself, but see anyone who was on this when the lead up to the World Cup, there was IPOs every day. See, because they had to release the full World Cup squad for every team in the World Cup. So every day there was an IPO, and it was like, this same amount of players, and it'd be maybe like Renato Augusto, the Brazil guy plays in China, and Axel Witsel. See, the Axel Witsel came out, there was pandemonium. Just these guys who, just for one reason or another, they weren't on the platform. But
I haven't experienced any of that yet. Do you see?
But then there was the Japan third choice goalkeeper, and all these things as well. They just weren't going anywhere. So every day when the thing was coming out, you'd have to do what you're going to do tonight, basically. And I'll probably chat about some experiences I've had with it already. But you're spot on. You can watch from afar, but when you put a couple of quid on one, you can really see how, honestly, what I was thinking as well before recording the video is obviously see all the times that these are getting released.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
many how many users are on the index? Is it like 500,000 or something, 300,000?
I think yeah, that probably is close to 500,000 at this rate. Yeah.
How many people do you think are going to be taking toilet breaks like all day tomorrow from work?
Yeah, right now. Just
You can wait in
sitting
the
on the
toilet.
bog, closing
Yeah,
the
that,
door, getting the fucking list out.
like, oh fuck, I've missed Everton Suarez. He's fucking 5 time already. You know.
Yeah, so
Um,
like, so I think I think even if you do it like with the way I do it, I'm like literally a small amount that's in my balance, just gonna, I'll only be able to
yeah,
buy a few shares. So if I get burnt, and buy high, like I'm not too bothered. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how the fun of it, how it actually does pan out. But
yeah,
I suppose then if we go into the, as you said, then there is some ones that really aren't kind of worth talking about.
yeah.
Um,
So
we
the
were
LA
mainly going to
Embleton one,
focus on the PB
yeah,
ones.
yeah, the LA Embleton one. I said to you before we come on, and anyone who watches this will be able to confirm this as well. But I read somewhere, maybe I've read on Twitter or something. But this LA Embleton is like he's on the platform already. You probably recognise his name because of that. But I think it's a reissue more than anything because the tale I heard was he IPO'd after the split, or his price never got done on the split because of the IPO never got split for some reason. So he's
Mm.
on the platform day one, post split price in a pre-split world, if you know what I mean. And so I think they're just basically hitting the reset button on him and fixing him. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and then further down we've got Kerem and Brapti at Birmingham City. Okay, now at 40p, I think we're quite safe in saying if you are interested in this guy, you're not going to need to be quick off the mark to pick him up. About
Yeah,
40p, like you can wait. It's not going to go anywhere. I don't
yeah.
think Birmingham are not doing anything this season worthwhile. All the mess, Monk leaving, the points deduction they got. The club is unfortunately it happens quite a lot in the championship. As we know, teams like Forest, Joe Ollie might have to come in this list, but some teams just get sucked in there and just have hundreds of bad things happen to them
Yeah,
for
yeah.
for what feels like forever until they come out the other side of it. And Sheffield United, I suppose, are a bit of a kind of full circle story on that kind of thing. But Birmingham, yeah, you're not going to miss out by not having Kerem and Brabty tomorrow at 10:05 or whenever he comes out. And then Joe Lawley is a name I know, probably one I don't know, Connor. If you, I recognise it. I don't know anything about the guy, but
Joe
again,
Little, like I don't know a whole pile about him. Like he plays because he's was it Nottingham Forest, is it? Yeah.
yeah, no,
Um.
he's
Yeah, he
simply head
plays.
in the
He seems to
championship.
like plays on. He seems to like play like both sides. Of the wide positions. Attacking midfielder.
Yeah,
But he actually, yeah, looking at him, he has got in the championship there 11 goals and 11 assists.
Jesus
Um.
Christ,
Yeah, 26-year-old. Yeah, so obviously he's had a
20.
good season. He wasn't somebody that was on my list, but and I'm not 100% sure. Is he someone that does have any rumors to be going up to a
I'm not
PB
like
league?
to be quite honest. The thing with
Well,
Forest,
if you look, actually, apparently Aston Villa, were rumored at a stage, so um, possibility there. I don't know. Well, he's coming in at 70p, which is actually
yeah, I think that's
high
a
enough.
tad expensive for um, you know, 26 championship player.
Yeah, so
Um,
there must be something in that with the PB link, with Aston Villa maybe. But yeah, good enough return there in the championship.
yeah, but the thing with Forest, as soon as I seen Forest and why I never even thought to check it for anything like that is because they're just again a bit of a basket case. And now sacking Martin O'Neill after 3 months, bringing in Sabri Lamucci, you know, um, I thought more than anything that they just adding this guy in because Football Index are sponsors Forest this year. They probably need one Forest player in the platform, like that was my kind of thought, like what's this guy even doing here? But if he's had a link to the Premier League, then fair enough, I suppose. You could probably compare him to other guys that I've spoke about certainly in the past, like in the Championship, like Raheem Harper and Neil Maupay, and guys like that. If they get links,
Well,
they'll make.
especially there's a possibility the teams at the lower end of the Premier League or those ones coming up like Villa,
Yeah,
sometimes a lot of their market would be, people that perform well in the championship. So
Burnley
yeah,
and
there
Bournemouth
there could be
mentioned the
something in that.
Championship quite a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough. Okay, maybe not quite as dismiss him as much as I maybe first imagined.
So he's a maybe,
Uh,
but as we're gradually getting quicker as we go to the the ones that you actually need to be quick on the mouse for, like, or on your phone to get them.
yeah, and then I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. Callum Robinson at Sheffield United. Uh, so he's been on loan no, been at Preston. Oh, he's just signed for Sheffield.
Yeah, so he was
United.
playing for Preston. He got 12 goals, 3 assists. So he's a 24-year-old. Yeah. Um.
Fair
Well,
enough.
he suppose he's at Sheffield. So he's not going to be going anywhere.
Yeah, but again, we're nearly promoted. The thing with some championship, I hope Sheffield United do well, but again, some championship teams, Fulham probably went the total opposite end of the spectrum. They just went out and spent money on anyone with a foreign name, basically. They were a bit of a cliche team last year with the signings they made, but sometimes, and we see how difficult Cardiff found it last year when you're
Yeah.
just buying players out the championship into your championship team to play in the Premier League. It can be a bit of a slog. Sheffield United have obviously signed Ravel Morrison as well and brought Jagielka back, so I don't know, it's a bit of an odd one. That Wilder gets a good write up, and we're sure they're going to have a good team spirit this year and give a good fist of it. But
Yeah.
again, this guy being, I don't see him moving from Preston to Sheffield United to be their first choice striker. You know what I mean? So to be on the bench or maybe even third choice Sheffield United striker, again, it's not somebody who I'm going to make sure my alarm bell set for tomorrow. At 50p, it's not anything I'd put any great um, urgency into. Uh, who else? And that boy Troy
Yeah.
Parrott. You knew
Yeah,
a bit
so he
about him.
was. So I kind of wish I was putting together an IPO list, from day one. I was always, oh, I must remember that guy, or
Yeah,
remember that guy. So I did only started about, a few weeks or a couple months ago, but yeah, Troy Parrott was one on it. And then obviously, because he is Irish as well. But then, he's been known because of, he's at Tottenham.
hmm
And I think there was stuff there coming out. Was he training? Yeah, yeah. So he's included in the squad there for their preseason tour.
sweet.
So maybe people like the idea. He's a striker. So he'd be learning off Harry Kane or whatever. But he's only like 17. So he's very young, but he was
Wow.
one I had my eye on then, and especially at 60p.
Yeah, definitely. Because I say even the good thing about Tottenham is Pochettino. Like he will play anyone. Like and obviously we'll give him credit for the youth and all that, but he'll genuinely play anyone who is performing well. Like how long Eric Lamela has lasted to that club is beyond me. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, he will play anyone to get through a match. I mean, like,
yeah,
um, and who's the other guy? Obviously, Sissoko has kind of turned himself around, and respect to him for that. But they've got a few players. I'm just like, how's that guy still at Spurs? Like,
yeah.
um, Lamela, don't get me wrong, he's all right, but if you see the money they paid for him and what he's like today, sorry, but
That's a strange one.
so but obviously as well, he's a bit more known for playing youth players and that as well. But if they struggle to get a second striker behind Kane, then there's a few young strikers in that Tottenham, like the full club, that will think, do
Mhm.
you know what, I could get a couple of minutes here, and I don't care. I'll sit on the bench every week. It means I'm on the top six
Yeah.
Premier League bench. So there's another guy as well. What was his name? Uh, oh, I want to say Sterling was it as well. There's another guy. There's another two young Tottenham strikers I've heard of. And they're both on the index coincidentally.
All right, so they're already on. Yeah.
I can't remember their names, yeah, but it's like, they're same kind of thing as your man Troy. They're training, they're getting amongst it. So you maybe
Yeah.
try to find the number two striker within their own ranks rather than go and sign somebody, because I think they struggled quite famously to get a second striker in. Who's happy to play second fiddle.
Yeah. Well, you see, if he does, if he puts in even a couple of good performances here, if he does get plays one of the halves in one of the friendlies or something, like a lot of the young players have been doing already in the preseason, because a lot of big players haven't come back yet. Um, but after the back of some youngsters having good preseason games, they're already getting rises in football index. So,
Mental.
um,
I think
Yeah, so you never
Luke
know. So I'd
Jameson,
imagine
isn't
a
he?
few people would be on him, or they would have their eye on him for the first part from 10 to 12.
Yeah, it's been at a top six club. He's always going to have that advantage. Um, just
And
having a
then
look at
below him, you got your
Fernandez.
boy Takafuso or Fusa Kubo.
Okay.
Um, he's the he's the Japanese Messi guy
Oh,
for Well,
is
Barcelona.
that
Like,
him?
there's not a.
Oh, I
So
don't know why.
he's
When I seen his name, I thought he was going to be African.
no,
Oh,
I think he is.
that,
He's the
yeah,
Japanese.
yeah, yeah. I think I seen a video about him the other day, or was that a Barca
Yeah.
guy?
Oh no,
I
it
think
could
it
have been him because I think that's you find loads of
was
stuff on
him.
him on YouTube, and then obviously Real Madrid picking him up.
Is it defender?
Um,
No,
no, I think he's an attacking midfielder. Yeah, I know he is. Yeah, so he's 18.
he's 18. Who am I looking at then?
Yeah, so people
Oh,
are looking
yeah,
at him.
I don't know.
And then there was that clip of him the other day. He was talking. He's walking with Hazard. Saying he used to watch videos of Hazard or some
Oh,
crap
really?
like that. You see him, like people were talking about him, so I'd imagine he's gonna be one people are on, and sure his price is £1.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, well, when I seen that, the two guys that popped to mind right away is this Kupo guy is even on Foot Mob, so he must be. Oh, he's really young, isn't he? Is
well, yeah,
Edward
there's
Kubo?
not that much on him, with on
Yeah,
like who scored or anything, that sort of thing.
aye. But yeah, when these guys go to Real Madrid, like in even like the Barca guys, like I can't really pronounce his name, but his name is Puig. Him
Oh yeah, yeah.
and like Elena, and there's another guy, I think Abel Ruiz or Ruiz Abel or something like that. All
And
these
then
little young
they bought the boy from West Brom.
guys.
Uh, what's he called? Louis something or Louis or
It's
I
Louis
forgot who
something
he
like
was.
Louis West or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's meant to
But
be this wee lightning bolt. Like he's a
yeah,
real fast player. Um,
but
so,
but when you've got players on Football Index that are playing for Real and Barca at all, then selling at £1, I wouldn't be surprised if at the close of play tomorrow he was probably going to be somewhere like £1.20, £1.10, something like that.
yeah,
What you'll notice as well, see with obviously most of them so far we're just kind of skimming on, so there's not much meat on the bones. But as we're kind of gradually getting up, so this guy Kubo is, in my mind, is very similar to like Rodrigo and Vinicius at Real Madrid.
yeah.
Like
They've got quite a few young players there now. Yeah,
when both of them IPO'd, they weren't playing for Real Madrid, at all. They were still at Santos. From when they IPO'd, and they just rose and rose and rose in expectation of a debut.
yeah,
Um, so this guy might go that way, um, or he might go a wee bit more like Odegaard on us. You might not hear from him again for a while, and he might get farmed around the shop. It just depends how good he actually is. But I think initially off the back of IPO, if you're on him early enough,
yeah.
quick enough,
He'll be
basically.
one that's like fastest finger first, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
Because even if you do look him up, he does get. There was something there about him in the Daily Mail 2 days ago. So it's not it's not just like Spanish media or anything.
yeah.
Um, he's kind of been talked about as the next whatever, and maybe
I
as well because he is Asian as well. Um,
have extra press and all that. There's a lot of media that goes around her. Like when pardon me, when Park was at Man United, and all these types of things. They get big press attention over there. So
yeah,
absolutely the, the definition of fanatical. I tried to look up there just when we were talking about Parrot, just to get a bit more of a scoop on him with this boy Onel Hernandez at Norwich. He sounds like a
oh
defensive
yes,
midfielder, and then when you look at him,
yeah.
he's a bit more box to boxy. He's got 8 goals and 9 assists from centre mid.
Let's see where
Um,
is he? I think I think he actually playing a lot up the left as well. It seems, is it? Um,
I'm on Foot Mob, so I've not got
yeah.
front now.
But I could see, yeah, 8 goals, 9 assists.
So he's more wide then.
No, he's actually on the left, yeah, wide,
Yeah,
like kind of wide left. So decent enough return, from that position.
yeah. And the thing with Norwich as well, like every time. Norwich have been in the Premier League, like in my lifetime and yours as well, obviously. Like I don't know if you'll agree with me, but they're never boring in the Premier League. They might go down in the first season, but you know what? They'll have some good matches. Like you're a Liverpool fan, so you must love
I just have memories of like the Suarez, was it the when he scored, was it three or
five.
four? You know,
I think it's five.
no, was it five? And he done it twice, or was it twice?
Yeah,
Four goals or something.
it's,
Um,
it's something like
yeah. So
12 goals.
I like Norwich, so I do.
But so that's what I was thinking about Norwich. And if we've got a winger like this who's all right in the Championship, we'll probably make a bit of a step up. And again, the manager's German, isn't he? This guy's German, so you probably
Yeah,
have
he's
some
German.
sort
Yeah,
of loyalty with him. You know, that tends to happen.
yeah.
Um, just find that as a trend, I suppose. Will he make the step up to the Premier League? Who did they play for before? Braunschweig, who are a Bundesliga 2 team. So he's a bit of an unknown quantity, but again, being in the Premier League, all it takes is like the opening day of the season, he scores a worldie, you know.
Yeah.
Um, who's that wee guy who plays for Watford? Is it Quina, the Portuguese boy, Quina or something?
I'm not sure.
It might have just happened maybe just before you came on, but there's a guy for Watford. I'm sure his name is Quina,
Yeah.
the Portuguese guy, and I think like it was a part of the season where I was really busy with football myself, and I didn't see much today and stuff, but I think he scored like two worldies or something like that. Maybe one in the cup, one in the league. And he was flying on the index. He was going away. I was just like, oh, this guy's going to be. He's linked to Man United, like everyone on the planet is, obviously. And whenever he pure flew away. But point I'm making by this tangent is like this guy. All he needs to do make you money on Football Index is really start the season well, and at 70 pence, he could easily. If he plays well in the first game, who have Norwich got? Norwich have.
Yeah, because you
So
never
that's
know that they could even have a single match day or something. I'm not 100% sure, you know.
oh, that's
Um,
Norwich. It's not Norwich Liverpool first day of the season.
um,
I think it is, by the way. It is. It's Norwich Liverpool first day of the season, Friday night.
oh fuck yeah, on the
Like
Friday, yeah, the first, yeah, I
maybe
forgot the first match is on the Friday.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
Liverpool Norwich at Anfield. So yeah, it's not going to do well in the first match. Second match they've got is Newcastle, Chelsea, West Ham, Man City. That's a tough run of three games. Well, 4 out of 5 really.
yeah,
Um, Newcastle, you maybe give them a hit on that at home. You obviously if it's coming in or whatever.
mm,
But so I suppose you probably get a bit of time on him. I wouldn't worry about him on IPO because again, as these games tick along and Norwich most likely, I think the best thing they could hope for out of those 5 matches is probably 4 points. You know, um, draw with West Ham and a win at Newcastle. I think that's the best they could hope for really. So at 70 pence, I don't see him running away early on price wise. You know, but again, all it takes for these guys to do is score for 40 yards or something, and they could pop.
and I think is it right that all these players you can't instant sell them within 24 hours or something like that? Is it? Is
Oh,
the
they
Is it
implemented
something
that.
like that? I think is I might have read somewhere, yeah, that the instant sell function, isn't available for a certain amount of time. Um,
Good.
so people then who are just in it for a quick flip, they would be putting it up on market, so you'd be
Oh,
banned
cool.
from them.
Mm.
I hope that's right. I'm pretty sure I did read that.
There was talk of
Um,
that. I didn't see any kind of announcement or anything like that. But again, I've had a mental week to be honest. But no, I'd like to think that I caught something like that when I was reading this earlier.
mm.
I hope I'm hoping. Nah, yeah, it's just this. Yeah. Well, if that is the case, then you don't need to worry about too many stings or anything like that. Which is always good. We don't want to see people getting done over. The next person we want to come to then is going to be Gabriel Martinelli. Do we know anything about him?
I just know obviously then he's young forward for Arsenal. Like I don't think I'm not even sure where he was. Is he where he was playing before, or if he's come all the way up through their academy?
I've um I've got a YouTuber that I subscribe
Yeah,
to.
actually,
Good Arsenal guy,
they just got him.
Brazilian.
Yeah, so like even if he was so his youth career was in Brazil. Um, so they've actually
Got a good record,
only
by the
just
way.
got him this summer then.
He's got a good record. He could be something to watch out for as well
Yeah,
tomorrow.
so he scored he scored I think on one of the US tour there it's saying.
Yeah, I thought his name looked a tad familiar. So actually, I've got a big Arsenal YouTuber that I subscribe to, and he
Yeah.
posts a lot of videos all the time, and I'm sure his name came through one of my feeds, but I never watched it. Um,
Yeah, so he's only signed there two weeks ago there, I think, apparently.
so again, I think he's going to be a kind of similar IPO to like a Billy Gilmore or something. Like when Billy Gilmore IPO'd, he's if you look at his trend, his price has pretty much always gone up, and also it's to a bit of a spike recently. But it's just that the expectation of to sign a young player from abroad, might not get into the team right away, but especially with Arsenal, Arsenal seem to have on the football index a lot of players worth a similar amount of money. Like see, like guys, there's a Sacco guy, got that Nketiah obviously, and
Yeah. He
Joe
scored
Willock.
there as well, didn't he, the other day?
Yeah,
Uh,
Arsenal have got a few players in football index that are all quite young, hardly kicked a ball, but have a good presence on the index for just having rises now and again. And just try to see. That's the point there, Saka. I don't. The screen share's still on, but this
yeah.
guy's quite expensive on index. I think it's Zach Medley. I've seen him as well. Zach. So what price is he coming into at? Martinelli. He's going to be coming in
He's
at
80p.
80p.
Yeah. Which is actually yeah,
It's quite fair.
I thought it maybe would have been 90 or a pound, just going by some of the other ones here. So that's not too bad. Well, I suppose Troy Part, 60p at Tottenham. Um, a year younger though, mind you. That's a
Comes down-
decent up price I think to start at.
Yeah, I think it comes down to if you're to pick between say the two of them and the Real Madrid boy. I was just thinking who else we're talking about. If anyone's watching this, you're kind of between like kind of like you're saying earlier. I'm going to play with a few quid, see how it pans out. If like those are amongst your kind of three deliberations, then I think the main thing you want to think about is just who's more likely to get game time. But see, the beauty with these kind of guys is like Troy Parrott, the Kubo guy, and Martinelli is they could play in cups and do well, and that will still move them on the index. So it's not to make money. It's not all about real life performance. A lot of it is like we're talking about before, friendlies and youth tournaments and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Just actually performing and doing something.
Yeah, so it
Um,
depends what you're as well, kind of what maybe strategy you have with what player you do want to go for. Like if you're, as you say, somebody that could potentially get games, so you could get a return, within a couple of months of the season starting, or are you just
yeah,
looking to get somebody that they might not play a competitive game until a year's time. Um, so things like that will weigh up the demand as well for the player. So it's going to be interesting, yeah, to see how it, like, just I've honestly I've no idea what sort of prices to expect some of these players to go to. Um, like
it's just
Kubo
getting.
there at a pound or something. £1 for Kubo. Is there potential that he could be like £2 or £3 or something by the end of the day?
I think it's possible,
Yeah.
100%. Whether
Um.
it will or not, but I think it's definitely possible. Just looking at this Renan Lodi, he could be a sneaky one to investigate further into. He has just came to Atletico Madrid from Brazil. He's a
Yeah. So
defender,
he's 21-year-old.
20. This is probably like that's weird. 20. Oh, see the Brazilian league. The seasons are really messy, so I
Well,
don't know how
all you can see is like yeah, what you're seeing as well is what I've seen. It's just there's only a few games.
the season
Um,
before he played 24.
yeah, so I'm not sure was there
So I think
big injury there or something or
so. It's probably worth looking into. But what I was going to say is I know like see the actual league in Brazil. It's really weird with stages and all that. Like there's hundreds of competitions like the Sao Paulo Cup and the Rio Cup, and it's all state regionalized, but it's a big national league and it's a bit messy. So I'm not sure if
yeah.
these 18, 19 figures are maybe he might have still been injured throughout 19. Don't get me wrong, or maybe the season finished. Maybe it's mostly through 18, and then they split it because I don't know. I'll check into it in a second.
Yeah,
But
because they're like, I think the way the competitions go, they might run at different stages.
yeah,
So there's a
that kind of
possibility
thing.
there. Yeah.
So those three games might have been like semi-finals and final or something, so that kind of playoffs maybe or something.
Yeah, so
Um,
they just got him there just a week or two ago there. Yeah. So he's a
but if you
Brazilian
look
left back.
across that 18 and 19, he's made 27 appearances and he's got 6 yellow cards and 1 red card. Diego Simeone will be loving that. Brazilian defender that can just come along and kick ass. So he could be. How much is he coming into it? Because they've just let Godin go. You know,
So
they
he's
still
70p.
Renan Lodi. Renan Lodi comes up quite easily. Left back he is. I defend well and I attack well. I like the sound of this guy. I like the sound of this guy. Yeah, I might buy. So just signed
Convinced.
him to the left. Just signed Trippier for the right.
Yeah.
Saying if the guy's a left back, he's only got 3 assists in Brazil. So his international record's good. Like Copa Libertadores, 2 goals in 6 games last season. He could definitely be one to look out for as well. The thing with IPOs is, what we're kind of looking at there now is just the ones who are most likely to make any kind of drastic movement that you are, if you're new or this is the first time you're trying an IPO out like Connor, that you can at least try and hedge your bets towards somebody who has any kind of likelihood of not stinging
Yeah.
or at least the minimal. So I think we've covered. I think we've still got the Napoli boy, the Juve boy, and the 2 headliners and Vargas. So let's see this Vargas guy, Matthias Vargas. Um,
Yeah, so so he's playing the Argentinian league then last
so
year.
he's just come in from Argentina, has he?
Yeah.
From MLS
But so he play like he's in a like a kind of plays in across
midfield.
like a positions here, in the like attacking midfield striker or forward type player. Um, but he got 5 goals, 4 assists in 23 games. Yeah.
Yeah, Espanyol just sold. Oh, was it to Atletico Madrid as well? They just sold their central midfielder Hermoso. Is that how you say it? They just
Not
sold
sure.
him yesterday, the day before. Maybe it's Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
This guy might be coming out to replace him. I'll find who he is because that's important. Let's see. Oh, I can hear my kid crying. 2 seconds. I may need to pause this. If it's just a wee cry, I'll be alright. Can you hear him?
Oh, I can. Yeah, yeah.
Can you?
Only a wee bit. It's not
Oh,
like
really?
crying. Yeah, yeah.
2 seconds. Do you want to talk? Could you?
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. So I can. Well, I was gonna talk as well about we can talk about Everton. Um, he
Well,
would
do
be
you want
one
to
of
give
the.
me 2 seconds to deal with the kid really
Yeah, yeah. Of
quickly?
course. Yeah.
And uh, why don't you have a quick
I'll
London?
go ahead with here with Everton. I'll talk about Everton. So yeah, Everton. He's shown there in the Copa America. So I think at the minute Arsenal are interested in him, but yeah. So he made a lot of headlines there because he did have a very very good Copa America. I think he scored 3 goals and 1 assist. 23-year-old. So I think he has recently. Well, a lot of people have been linked to Arsenal recently, but yeah, he has been linked within the last week or two here. Um, so he's one that is going to be in high demand, and you can see there as well by his price, £1.10. So he's one I could see, it'd be a risky one to get on, but he obviously, it's the high risk, high reward. The more demand they're in. Um, I think then as well he already covered Mateus Vargas. Let me have a look at Mateus Vargas. Yeah, so we've already covered him. He done well, with 5 goals, 4 assists. So they would really be, Everton. I'd say Martinelli. Uh, Kubo is going to be a big one. Troy Parrott, I think, as well, playing for Tottenham. There are going to be a few here that are going to be the main 3 or 4. Maybe there's a few here that'll be on people's IPO list. So they they will be the ones in demand. Generally, I'd imagine, even though I haven't participated in any of them before, but I'd imagine that everyone is going to see an initial rise. Um, just obviously the more in demand ones will see a large rise, and it's high risk, high reward.
I'm back, by the way. Um,
Oh, I saw your screen moving there, just there. Yeah.
yeah, where did we get to? Sorry.
Oh no, I was talking about Everton.
Oh, cool.
Because so he's gonna be fresh in a lot of people's minds, just with the Copa America performances. So
Yeah, that's
just kind
cool.
of saying, he gonna be an in demand one, so he's a high risk, high reward. It could be one that you end up
I don't.
buying that ends up being very high.
Yeah, I don't. I think if you're getting, I think tomorrow I'm going to go on a limb with this one. I think if you're getting this guy below £1.40 tomorrow, you'll be doing well. I think he's just going to
Oh yeah.
fly it. Yeah, I think he's just going to fly away right quickly.
So I
Because
was
yeah, it's
saying,
like
he has linked. I think in the last week or two, there's been rumors, with Arsenal, um, and a few other clubs I think I have seen mentioned before. But someone that does well on the international stage, is going to have eyes looking at them. So the the price there reflects, just in case people are wondering, why he's. If
yeah,
people didn't realize he done well in Copa America, that's why he's at that price.
yeah, no, totally. And again, I thought the Arsenal deal was all but signed. So I think I think that is generally where that deal is at now. I might be wrong, but I think that is just all but missing some ink on a contract at this point. So the chances
Because I
of
think yeah, I think it had at one point did it come out that it was agreed, but then um, I think maybe other things came out that it wasn't fully agreed. That's the way I'd kind of seen it.
that's
Um,
typical Arsenal, isn't it?
or maybe it has gone through. But yeah, so it's either a sign
The
or
likelihood of him
signing.
is
Yeah,
yeah, because whenever these things happen, like players from Brazil. I remember, like, there's a boy who just signed for Leipzig this summer called Luan. I was hoping he was going to be in this. His name's Luan. You might be familiar with him. He was linked to Liverpool, and it
yeah.
never went through. I think it was in January you were linked to him, or maybe last summer. But he just went to Leipzig um, this season, like now, basically. And when these Brazilians are linked with any European team, if they don't go through first time, the next window, or the worst case, the window after, you'll probably see their agents are making moves for them and end up in Portugal, France, Spain, Germany. Like they could really end up anywhere. Once they're kind of on the radar, European scouts. It's very rare that they don't actually make that trip across. Even if it is to fail ultimately, but they will generally make that trip over if they've identified as a player that's good enough for Europe.
Yeah.
So even if the Arsenal deal doesn't go through, there'll be a deal to happen. And if Arsenal are linked, then it's not going to be, a poor team that's going to snap them up eventually. It'll be somebody of some sort of note.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it looks like it could, like going by some of these articles, it could be that there's something agreed in principle, maybe, with Arsenal. Um, and
because I think
maybe it's something that could just be finalised in a few days. But either way, yeah, as you say, other clubs would even be interested.
because the thing I heard about it was, or read about it, was it was that it's Arsenal's first Edu deal. Like Edu's back as sporting director at
Mm,
Arsenal, so it's his first like deal. So I'd be surprised if it didn't go through in the end. I think from what I know anyway, I might not know everything about the transfer, but I think it's there thereabouts. The next name, I think, have we still got the other three to touch on? Yeah, you didn't do any of them while I was away.
oh no, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Carlos Vinicius is the next one. Okay, when I seen the name, I had to kind of double take it just for the Vinicius. Um, but it's another attacker coming in to. I don't think he's even in this either. Vinicius.
Because
Nah,
he was
attacking.
playing. Well, like I think it was in half the season was um, so half the season was at the Portuguese league, I think.
Yeah, he's been in Europe.
Um,
Carlos Vinicius. Uh, Napoli to sell Vinicius to Benfica. He's getting a lot of potential speculation. And the thing with him, see with all these kind of Brazilian sounding players, if they're kind of half decent, they, they will just get a little bit more attention sometimes. Like see Wolves to be linked to somebody called Carlos Vinicius. Any journalist that wants to write about Wolves can write whatever they want, with a name like that and make it sound exciting. The guy could be a pun of mince, it could be absolutely terrible. Um, but
but
so
I think he was mainly when he was playing there in
uh,
his games, he was mainly as a sub, in the French league.
yeah, I had him up earlier. Why is it not coming up now?
Oh, it's Carlos, yeah, Carlos. Uh, um, you see, there's a lot of that Vinicius or whatever that surname is pronounced.
Yeah, I had him up earlier. It's so bizarre. Um, so who was he at in France last year? Monaco.
So yeah, Monaco.
It was Monaco, yeah.
Yeah,
That's where I was looking at him.
but it was like I think it was so he had like
Falcao was
three
injured,
three.
Jovetic was injured,
Yeah,
Ronnie Lopez was injured, and just yeah,
yeah. Most of his appearances though, I beat there's like 13 subs. I think he only started a few games. Um, he got a couple of goals and one assist. So and as well then with Monaco, I'm not sure how well it's yeah. So he is a low price. It depends. Yeah,
depends where he actually ends up. But
yeah,
at Monaco, they were just an absolute train wreck last year. So to get any sort of
yeah. You can't maybe judge. Some of the stats. Whether they were all round. Yeah, shit.
I can't find them anywhere. This is mental. I've genuinely looked. Where the hell was I looking at him? But because last year, like this year, like if you've been watching the videos and stuff like that, I've been talking a lot about Leipzig. I've really fancied them big time this year. But for the last like 2 seasons, I really liked Monaco in that way. Just a random European team that you just want to see do well. And so watched out for Monaco quite a lot last year, and that's where I knew his name from. And where was I looking at, Miller? This is going to really annoy me. I'm going to move
Unless it
on.
was one of those other. Maybe it wasn't the FOTMOB one. Maybe it was like Sofa Score or something like that, or
I might have been. It's
any of
not.
them other apps, the Flash Score one.
He's going to be. He's linked to a few moves, and when it's a Premier League move as well, I'll just close this. Then he's always going to be worth a bit for spec. And if he does end, because Wolves could sign anyone, they just sold a few players, so they've released some money out, and some wages. They sold some boys back to the Championship, held a cost. I think that's a loan with an obligation to buy, and then did they sell Caballero as well? And there was somebody else I think left Wolves within the last couple of weeks. So if they did bring somebody like this in, it would definitely be a Premier League style upgrade. Bringing somebody in with they're a
Mm.
top European side, or say top loosely. They're not a relegation fighter player. Um, but somebody with potential who's attacking. And again, you see what Wolves did with that Adama Traore. He had a big rep at Barca, did crap at Middlesbrough, and then went to Wolves
Yeah.
and became a quality player. So they've got history for bringing players like that in and making something out of them.
Well, and yeah, and people are expecting kind of good things from Wolves this season. Depends as well though, because obviously they'll be playing now on Thursday nights as well, won't they now? Um, and
Yeah,
then the weekend. So it
it's their
depends
full
how they
squad.
how they deal with the. I think they have the smallest squad in the league. Um, so I think while people are expecting good things, they could with the amount of extra games. I wonder will their league performance struggle?
Well, yeah, it depends on the depth of the squad. So I think Nuno will definitely want to run in that cup because Demiral, because his assistant has always been Ian Cathro, again, I've always just kind of watched out for the pair of them, Cathro
Mm.
and Costa. And when they were in Portugal, like their first job together, they got to a cup final with a team called Rio Ave. They lost the cup final to Benfica, but it qualified Rio Ave for Europa League. And it was doing that earned the pair of them the job they got in Valencia. And in Valencia, I, I might be right. I think they won the Spanish Cup. I think they won the Copa del Rey. But no, don't think Cathro was there. I think he moved on. But I think he won the cup with Valencia. And if he didn't, I think he done something similar anyway. So it's a guy
Yeah.
who likes to win things. They won the championship when they came up, didn't they? Wolves last season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he might fancy a good run at the Europa League. And we've seen it before with teams like Middlesbrough and Fulham. That for an English team with decent resources and a good organisation and a wee bit of stardust in the team, a run in Europe is definitely not beyond them. So player signing for Wolves if this guy does go, brilliant. But there's but yeah, if he does, brilliant, yeah. And then I think the last guy we've yet to touch on is just the Demirel boy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Juventus, is it?
yeah, just he'll be the last one. So he's come in from Sassuolo, who are also in Serie A. So he's played in Serie A for a year, and at fullback he is, I believe. He has got 14 games, 2 goals, 3 yellows, 2 aggressive clearances, 79 interceptions.
Well,
Massive.
he's got good like average rating. His all round performances
Mm.
seems to be pretty decent.
The thing as well is like Sassuolo sound like a shit team, but I see since they've been in Serie A for the last 2 or 3 years, they've always done quite well. Who's the boy they've got up front? Is it begins with a B, Berardi or something? He's like a winger forward
Yeah.
guy, Berardi. He's done well
Yeah,
for them.
Berardi or something. Yeah,
Berardi.
I know you're on about. Yeah,
So
he got a few goals and assists last season.
mhm. So they've done all right since they've been up. So if this guy's come from them and he's 21, Turkish, he's probably, even though he's not been booked too often, he's probably not shying a tackle.
Well,
Tackles
whenever actually I've
67%.
clicked into Suslo's squad, they're just there. He is their top performing player. In terms of rating.
Is that who
Um,
scored? Is it?
yeah, and who scored? Yeah, so and these are things that people are going to be looking at. If they're researching players, so if they see somebody like that, oh, he's apparently the best performing player in terms of rating, for them last season.
Where did he play most often? Can you click into?
So he was actually, I think most often it was centre back,
Yeah,
I believe, yeah.
more centre.
But he has played, I think, a couple of times, yeah, and right back.
So also Juventus, they signed Delict today as well. But the big kind of speculation for Juventus is like defence on Buffon's back in town as well. Is Cancelo this summer, and kind of the last 2 summers it's been Alexandro. So um, they can tie down those fullbacks, and then obviously Chiellini and Buffon are still around, but with Delict coming in at 19, they're probably want to have a back four they're going to keep together for a long time. You know,
Mm,
because the back three they had for ages, Barzagli, Bonucci, Chiellini, they've played together for the thick end of 10 years. It's a back three,
yeah.
with different wing backs left and right of them. So I think with spending so much on Delict, having him at 19, and Cancelo's early 20s, and I think Sandro's mid to late 20s. They've got 3 pieces of the puzzle there, and this may be the guy they see that can maybe step up in time as well at 21, because defenders always peak a bit later on. I think we all kind of know and accept that. That
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so he's very, very young then in terms of a centre back.
yeah, obviously Delict's a freak of nature at 19, but this could be an
Yeah, he's a rare one.
yeah, and again, being at Juventus, being Barzagli's retired, Bonucci's still around. I think Chiellini's obviously not far off retiring. But the guy could definitely be in line for minutes. Because again, players in Italy break into the squad, and sometimes you look at their team and you're like, who the hell is this guy? Like right back for Juve last year, a few times was Spinazzola, and you're like, who the hell is this
Yeah.
Spinazzola guy? I mean, he sounds like a fake Italian cartoon or something.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
especially when the games come thick and fast for them, so obviously they'll want to compete on all fronts, So yeah, he could easily
players are
rack
getting
up a few minutes.
definitely, and he's coming in at 50 pence. He could be quite modest, but again, it's all about game time with these guys the as um, the dust settles, because tomorrow will be mental. Like you will look at some of these people and they'll be some of them probably won't move very much. I dare say the majority of them will be up and down and left and right and
Yeah.
everything in between. And then tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, beg your pardon, you'll probably see them settle out a little bit. I put a tweet out earlier and I said, I can feel a disturbance in the force, right? And what it was when you analyse, or can you still see the screen? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
See the wee, I call it the little bot reel, so we can see everyone's transactions at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, the activity thing. Yeah.
Yeah. See when you watch that, see the amount of people that were quick selling, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and it's all in preparation for tomorrow. And you look at the decrease list, and there's just so many players.
Oh
More
no,
than
you're
players
right because I was
are decreasing by 1 penny and 2 penny as well. He's not just got the big losers. There's
yeah.
lots of them that are just going down a little bit. What are you going to say? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, so like the last few days, the market did seem to be rising quite nicely. I'm not sure about yourself, but like my
Yeah.
portfolio was going up, but then there was a little, just a wee slight dip then, and a few of the players following the IPOs coming out, the list coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's as you say, that people are gonna have to get their money from somewhere.
Yeah. So funds will have been released tonight. People will be getting paid maybe to midnight into tomorrow. Sometimes that could be the case as well. And there's going to be a lot of money flying about tomorrow, and it's going to be on a lot of the players we've just discussed. Now, if you've made it to the end of the video, I applaud you because it's not been there's not been too much in terms of excitement in terms of who we've had to chat about. I'm sure what I missed about Everton Suarez was very informative and kind of struck a chord with he's on why he's good. The only person we've not touched on, sorry, before I do wrap the video up, is Timo Pukki, who is probably the one I was one of the most excited players to see on it. He's IPO tomorrow at £1, and it could be one of these guys that has like do you remember Michu at Swansea?
Yeah, I can't believe we actually near missed him out here.
I know, I know.
He's going to be the one that a lot of people will be buying. As you can
You'll
see
stayed
by
all the
his
way to the
price
end of
as
the
well.
video for us to talk about him, and then the
That's
goal
that
thanks
that
was
that was the plan. That was the plan all along. Best for last.
it was a fake out. Um, But he could easily go on and have like a Meet You season. Like I'm a Celtic fan. I watched the guy play at Celtic Park for a season, 2 seasons, however long he was here, and he was a good striker. I quite liked him, but he just never really suited him up here. He needs to have space and he likes to run channels, and the Premier League will suit him for that. The only thing that's going to be, I think I've not really seen him too much at Norwich. I've seen the highlights of goals and stuff, but I have seen him up close and personal. Um, if he's going to get delivery and he's going to get chances, see 12 yards out, 8 yards out, he'll beat more. He'll beat enough goalkeepers in the Premier League, I think.
Yeah.
To get a decent goal tally. If he gets under 10, I would be surprised this year. Because like I said, Norwich do like to attack and go for it, and the coach they have, I could easily imagine them having the same start to the season that Huddersfield had under Wagner. See, when they came up to the Premier League,
Hmm.
I think the first 6 games Huddersfield had, they won what, 4 of them, maybe drawn there 2. Started the league really, really hot. Norwich, I think we looked at their schedule. I don't think it was looking too good. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't
But
too hard for them. No.
past that first 5 games, they could really go ahead and put some goals past some teams and make a bit of a rep for themselves. And if they are going to do that, and this is going to be the guy who's going to be bagging the goals. And at £1 now, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be in any rush to buy him just for how shit his fixtures are to start with. You could easily wait for those fixtures to ride out a bit. Even if you drop down, even if you picked them up at £1.2 in a month's time, it's not really the end of the world, is it? Rather
Yeah.
than freaking out and buying them tomorrow for £1.20. When people are going crazy for them.
Well,
Um,
I want us to remember as well. A lot of people will be playing the IPO game and maybe not looking at anybody until tomorrow.
yeah,
As you said, once the dust settles. So there's a couple of them, a few of these people that could be volatile. For a couple of days. Whereas the other ones are not a bit, not too noteworthy. You'd imagine they would settle after, the end of the day.
yeah. So I think that the first instalment of IPOs we get our hands on tomorrow, Phuket and Everton are going to be the two to really watch out for. And then the kind of the other ones you'll probably see high percentage increases on, like in the trending list, will be like the Martinelli. I'd probably say the Lodi as well. You know, the Atletico boy and
Yeah.
Kubo. I think they'll have big percentage rises.
Hmm.
Whereas with Pookie, Suarez is probably going to be the main guy of the day, to be honest with you. But yes, I think they're the main ones to watch out for. Um, and if you are going to be getting stuck into IPOs, you will. It says here between 10 and 12, they will all come on at random times. There's no real rhyme or reason to it, as far as I can gather. But it might be like one of them comes out at 10 o'clock bang on, and then like the other like 12 all come out at 10:58, and then the last two come out at 11:01 or something. You know, it just I don't think there's
So
any.
it's yeah, there's no way to predict it really.
You just need to type their name in and search them, and refresh. Type their name in and search it. You just need to keep going through that till they pop up, and it's just fingers on buzzers. You know.
Yeah, I'm weirdly looking forward to it.
Yeah. So there'll be a lot of toilet breaks tomorrow between 10 and 12. Because I say some of these guys like the Kubo, the Vargas, and the Pookie, and not the Vargas, as far as you can catch them anywhere near the price of starting at, I think you're on to a winner.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd want to add in?
Well, you kind of mentioned that the main ones you would see rises from. For me again, I said to talk about the start, but Tripart, would be the one I'd be going in for. And also, I mentioned that I'll only be going in with a little bit of money, so someone at 60p out of this bunch, it looks a bit more favourable to me. But I'm interested to see what happens with the other ones. Um,
Yeah,
Very risky.
yeah, definitely could be. Magic. Well, like I tried to say a minute ago, guys, if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, congratulations for sticking with us
Yeah.
through this one. Go check us out on the second half of this, which will be on Connor's channel. The link will be in the description below. If you're new around here, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and we will catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.